in the same field now as I am. Just chopping hay. Well, I just started raking the last little patch, and we have a little bit of a treat here. There are 2 eagles just chilling on the top of this pivot. Well, good morning, everybody. Well, today is the day that we start hay harvest. It finally got dry enough. It quit raining. I'm on my way to work right now. We have a lot to do and we're short-handed. So we have hay, which this field right here, we have to get that cut. That's one of our hay fields. But we have hay to do this morning, and we have about half of our trucks who are going to be hauling manure. So we've got a lot to do. We're pretty busy. We're spread thin. There's a lot of things we still haven't done. We have some gearboxes on some pivots that we need to change, but we don't have the help right now because all of our pipe mover help that comes up from Mexico every year, they all went back to Mexico. So we're a little short-handed. See, here's another one of our fields. This one's been cut. So we've got about 300, let me think, almost 400 acres of hay to do. But it's really light. 5th crop is not very heavy. Here's another one of our hay fields. 5th crop is not very heavy, so I think we're gonna get through it, probably half of it today. So it's not gonna take us very long to do, but once that's done, we'll all be hauling manure. We have to get all the manure trucks ready, set up. We'll be hauling manure for probably, I mean, the last 2 years we hauled for basically most of the month of November. So we're gonna be hauling for quite a while, but yeah, join me as we start hay harvest and manure season, and yeah, all the miscellaneous repairs that we have to do. So, all right, I'll see you at the farm. There we go. Whew, I can tell it's cold. It's a little sluggish this morning. But yeah, look at this. That is ice. It's a frozen puddle. It is cold this morning. It has gotten down to 15 degrees the last 4 days, with highs only in the 30s, so winter's coming. I'm not happy about it, but we still got work to do, so nothing ever stops. Well, I got all the way out back by the rake and realized that when we put the vine beater on this for spuds, that we had to take the drawbar off the back of the tractor down there. So I had to pull it back to the shop and find the drawbar and put it back in. Weighs like 200 pounds. Slide it in, put a big pin in the bottom so it doesn't fall out, and I'm headed back out to the rake now, so we need to get going, so I gotta hurry. Which one of you is not like the others? It's you! There you are. Let's hook it up. All right, just backing up. Let's see how well it lines up with our drawbar down there. I think I'm gonna have to do this while not filming. Need more hands. Let's give it a peek, see how close we are. Oh, I think we're golden. I think I can put the pin in. Perfect. Just gotta hook up the couple hydraulics and electrical and we'll be on our way. All right. Well, I've got it hooked up, but I'm missing the hay controls to plug into this thing and bolt up right here. So I gotta go find those. They're in the shop somewhere. And yeah, I need to adjust my hitch because the pin doesn't go all the way through. So take it up to the shop. We'll do all that, and then I gotta grease it, and I'll be out in the field. Well, I found my control box. I gotta go put it in. Okay, got it in. Just had to put that one little bolt in there. Now I gotta hook this up to this. See if I can do this one-handed here. Got it the right way? Nope, it's the wrong way. It's gotta be flipped. Just use 2 hands. You're gonna get up close view here. There we go, there we go. There. All together. We should be able to run this thing now. So I unbolted the top of the drawbar that was up here. Now this pin goes all the way through how it should. So, gotta get this thing greased. I also need to hook this electrical line up. Put this hole that it plugs into up here. If I can open it. See, it's got a little dirt in it. I gotta clean that out. Well, while I was getting my rake ready, These guys finished putting this together. We're just flipping it back over to get it hooked up. Just have to hook up the chains. Should be able to just lift it right up. Hopefully. The reason we had to use the bail is because we didn't want that just slamming into the ground, because that's hooked to the shaft and the gearbox. That's the new shaft they just put in. Nice shiny new gearbox. Hopefully we can just lift it up without any problems. We'll see. There we go. I think you should be okay now. I wonder if you could drive forward and set it on the bail and then readjust the chains. Maybe you could get it on the bed. You might be okay. It's kind of tipped, but you might be able to get it on the bed just fine. All right, looks good. They're gonna go put this on the bed. They're gonna go put this bed on the truck, and I have to go start raking. So Christopher's over there getting his chopper and the other choppers greased up and ready to go. I just have to go get in my rake tractor. Sitting right here, just greased it, so it's ready to go. All right, I'm finally on the road, out to the field. Good grief, I had so many problems with this thing. So it's warmer now, but when we got to work, it was only 16 degrees. So when I hooked this up, it would spin, but nothing else would work. It wouldn't lift up or down, wouldn't swing, wouldn't do anything. So I just turned it up on the spinning and let it spin. And I think there's where all those, you can kind of see that block where all the hydraulic lines go into on the rake back there. That, I'm guessing all of my valves were frozen. So by letting it just spin, it warmed up those valves and got everything working again. But it took about 30 minutes for it all to work up and get going again. So I'm almost to the field. Unfold this thing, I gotta get going because they're gonna be right behind me. I don't even know if I'll be able to keep up. They're gonna go pretty fast because this is a light crop. All right, got my little controls here. We're gonna slide one side out to right there, and the other side, we're gonna slide that one out too. I'll zoom in on this. I slide it out till the 5 gets even with the edge of the valve body, the hose on the other side. So right there. Now, going a little crooked because I'm not steering while I'm moving. I guess I don't have to move right now. I'm going to extend these, angle these, get them all the way out. Let's try and get them even. One side doesn't go out quite as far as the other. I don't know why, because they're the same. So, all right, now kick the baskets on, let those spin around. Now we're good to go. We'll get going here. Drop the baskets down. We're raking, by golly. Speed up a bit, see if we can get a good row here. Looks like we got a pretty good row. It's not as good as all the other crops, but this is 5th crop. And this field, actually the next 3 fields, we've killed them. So we're gonna be putting spuds in here next year. So because we've killed them, this hay is extra dead and extra dry, so we should go through these 3 fields pretty quick. So the reason everything was frozen, well, ideally was because it was cold, but also the reason nothing would go at first is because if you don't know about hydraulic oil, it's basically the consistency of thick syrup or molasses. It is really thick stuff. So when it gets cold, it does not want to move. It doesn't want to do anything. So I had to slowly let the tractor warm up, slowly let all the oil warm up, then pump that slightly warm syrup essentially through the block to warm everything up. And now you can see it's going really good now. It just took a little bit to get this thing warmed up and going. Out here going, and we got manure trucks going back and forth. We have 4 trucks running manure. And the rest of them are going to be doing all this hay. So, well, I had to come back into the shop. As you can see, something broke. It's these big hoops that go underneath to it makes the hay come off. For some reason, I've been snapping them. So that one just sheared right off. Luckily, we have a couple from our old rake. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt that and replace it. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just 1 bolt there and 1 bolt on the other end. Well, I just got it off. It's like it straightened it out. It's supposed to have a nice curve in it, and it pretty well just pulled it straight. So not sure why they keep breaking. We'll have to make sure we get a few more on hand just in case this keeps happening, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on. All right, got it on there, nice and tight. Let's hope I don't have any more problems. So every time we come out in the field to do anything, whether it's hay, mostly when it's working up the ground, all the seagulls come out of nowhere. I have no idea where they come from because I never see them other than when we're actually doing field work. But it's like they just live in the sky, and as soon as they spot any field work being done, they come down to eat all the mice and the worms and stuff. It's like, where the freak does anybody know where these guys come from? Because I have no idea where they nest, and I have no idea where they come from. But they just come behind me, and they just eat all the bugs and stuff, and I have no idea where they come from, or how they get here, or how they know we're doing field work. How do they know? Somebody answer the question. Well, the tractor, the choppers and the trucks just got out here. So we have 1 chopper right here. The other chopper's way over there. But they're going. I have noticed they're having a hard time throwing the hay clear into the bin, into the wagons. A lot of it's just hitting the front of the wagon and falling on the ground. That happens when the hay is really light or there's not very much, and obviously you can tell there's not very much here. If the hay is really light and there's not very much, or if the hay is dry, it doesn't like to throw it very far. So they're having a hard time actually getting the hay to go into the wagon. So hopefully we can pick up as much as possible, but we are going to leave quite a bit on the ground, looks like. These birds are pretty daring. They're sitting right in the rows that I'm going to rake. Get out of the way, birds! I'm coming through! Get off the hay! I haven't hit any yet, but I can tell they don't like it because they're trying to poop on my tractor. Darn birds. Well, I had to come to the dairy to run the bagger because my grandpa had to go. He's the one who usually runs the bagger, but they've been having some issues with it. So hopefully we don't have any more issues. We think we got it solved. It had an airlock in one of the lines, so hopefully they bled it out and we got it going, so it should run. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be running this until, well, for the rest of the day I'll be running this. So our bagger has a little cab on it. Not that big. It's like I'm pretty squished in here. Looks like we have a truck that just showed up. We'll get to unloading them. There's a rotor down there. You can't really see it because of the glare on the window. Let me see if I can find a spot. Right there. I can't get it to shut off. That's one problem we're having, is we got it to turn on, but now I can't turn it off. So I just have to run the bagger on until we are done for the day, and then we'll try and figure out, I think it's the switch. There's all these switches right here. I think it's that one right there. That little guy isn't working. Got all these gauges, all these switches, but truck's backing up. Hopefully he doesn't hit the sides, because we've had that happen before. But he'll back up, we'll get unloaded. Get the floor chain going here. Get cleaned off. He'll open it up and dump the hay in. Have to idle this up a little bit. He doesn't get too much weight on the bagger, because it will stop the chain if it does. So this just comes up, feeds into the auger, and that goes into this big bag back here. All right, this truck is just about empty. Just feeding the last little bit in, and then he'll go get another load. Better look at those augers. Basically, after the hay gets run through the choppers, it's chopped pretty fine, and then this just takes it. It doesn't really chop it anymore, but it just pushes it and packs it into this bag. So you have to vary the brake pressure and everything to make sure that the bag packs good. You can't just release all the brakes and let it go, because then your bag won't look very good. But you want a big, nice packed bag like that. You can see down there, if it gets too wet, it'll get squishy. So if we do it too wet, the bag sags and gets squishy, and when it does that, you risk splitting out the side of the bag and it just dumps it all over the ground. So we try to do it. It's gotta have the right moisture, and then we gotta pack it right, or else it just doesn't work very good. Show you some of the hay going in. Sometimes it backs up, you gotta wait for it to suck it in. See, if I put it in too fast, then it backs up, and I have to stop and wait. And it slowly takes it. Then I can put more in. So you have to vary it pretty good. Make sure you're not messing it up. Hey guys, what's up? We're out here in the hay chopper, just chopping some hay. It is, October 30th, like the day before Halloween. I don't know whoever is crazy enough to do hay in Idaho this late. It was like 19 degrees this morning. But we got the Dion chopper going. We're blowing hay into the wagon. It's really light, so it's hard to get it to go right into the wagon. I don't know how to fix that, but yeah, so we're just waiting to fill some trucks. We got a truck right there waiting to dump into. Just chopping a little bit of hay. We're catching up to the rake. If you can tell, Trevor in the rake is only one pass ahead of us in this field. He did a little piece over here that we're heading to. We'll fly over here, see if we can find Josh. He is loading his truck. See how many of these seagulls we can run over. Just kidding. I don't know that we could run over a seagull in a bird in a tractor. That'd have to be a pretty dumb bird if you ask me. But we will knock out this little 15-acre piece and then catch up to Trevor. See if we can get on the right track. Not go down the road, the track where Josh is at. We'll go down this next one. It's always a guessing game when you're chopping hay on what track to go down, especially if you're on a pivot and you can't tell what path they're on. Sorry, it is a little bit choppy. I guess I could turn on my active mode on my new iPhone. But hey, here we are bagging some hay. The inoculant today was all frozen, so we're not able to put any inoculant on.
Josh. He's gonna pass us. We are chopping hay about 6.5, 7 miles an hour. I don't know if you can see that. 6.2, 6.4 right now. And here, we'll get a good view of Josh right there. Sorry, my window is so dirty, but anyway, there you have it. We're just chopping hay on short days with Halloween parties going on at the night, and the sun doesn't come up till like 8 o'clock. So with all the frost in the mornings, it's hard to get going very early while you're chopping hay because it is all covered in frost, which is very rare. So hopefully the cows like this good feed. It's definitely nice and green, a lot of leaves, the stems are pretty fine, easy to chop.
Okay, I just got out to the field. This is day 2 of harvest, hay harvest. Look at this. This is, I don't know if you can see, maybe if I go this way. See all that frost? This is just the frostiest hay. Normally we would not be able to do anything with this. It would have to really dry out. But you can see way over there, they're going. It's because this was killed with Roundup, a week and a half ago. And then it's been frosted multiple times. So there is no moisture in the hay. So the frost on top of it right now is actually helping it chop better. So even though, and my dad actually cut this morning. This was yesterday, this was this morning, that's why it doesn't have frost on it. But yeah, the frost actually helps it go through the choppers better now. And the bagger's taking it just fine because there's no moisture in this hay. It's been killed out. So we're gonna get going on day number 2. We'll see if we should be able to get all of this done and moved over to our last field, because we're able to go pretty quick because there's not a whole lot here. So, well, our swather broke down. It had an electrical issue and the mechanics can't figure it out. Luckily, one of our neighbors let us borrow his Massey Ferguson to try and finish our hay before all the storms that are predicted for this weekend. We got to get this hay done. So luckily we have some good neighbors that are willing to lend a hand and lend some equipment so we can get our stuff done. So we're still going. It's not our good old New Holland, but it'll do the job. They're catching up to me. They're in the same field now as I am. Just chopping hay. Be done before too long. There's the other tractor. Here's Trevor. Let them get out of the way and then I'll turn around and keep on going. The hay's so light that they are really cruising, and it takes them a while to actually fill a truck. But you can see, because it's light and dry, not very much of it wants to actually reach the wagon. So they're doing the best they can, but we're leaving a lot on the ground. You can see the trail right here. That was just from the other chopper. So we're getting what we can. It's just not that great of a crop this late in the year. All right, everybody, we are on our last day. This is the 3rd day of hay harvest. We are just about done. We moved into this last field just this morning. We were gonna move into it last night, but it was still a little too wet, because this field, the difference is that it was not killed. This is gonna be in hay for the next 2 years. So even though it has been frosted, it hasn't been killed. So it was a little wet, but we're moving on it today. You see, there's one of the choppers right there. They're out here with me. They're in there changing a bag. One of the bags on the bag on the bagger got full, and so all the truck drivers are in there changing the bag. So the choppers are both stopped, waiting for trucks, but they'll be going here pretty quick. This field, I believe, is about 120 acres. and we will finish this whole field today. We've done, well, I've raked maybe a quarter of it, so still have quite a bit to do. But yeah, by the end of the day today, we will be done with this. So pending any breakdowns, we should be good. Well, I just started raking the last little patch, and we have a little bit of a treat here. There are 2 eagles just chilling on the top of this pivot. Just sitting there. I'm guessing they're waiting for some mice to come popping out of the hay as I move it away, but I'm probably only maybe 100 feet away. Oh, there he goes. It's a beautiful bird. Let's see if this one flies away. I don't know. He took off. He's flying over there. It's funny, whenever they take off, all the little birds come and chase them. But that's awesome. Got to see some eagles today. Well, I'm coming around on the second round, and one of our eagle friends is still here, just hanging out. Just chilling on the pivot. It's nice that there's starting to be more and more of them all the time. Well, that eagle saw something. Just landed in the row that I just raked. He's tearing something apart. Must be a mouse or something, but they like to follow and catch the bugs and the mice. There he goes. Well, I finished raking, so they'll probably be done in an hour, maybe 2 hours. But right when I finished, I noticed a problem. So this motor back here, it only had 1 bolt in it, and it was shaking like this. I was like, what in the world? Well, we lost the bolt out of that hole, and this one was loose. And I've lost both these bolts earlier in the year and replaced them, but they must have come loose again. So, see that red stuff? Put some red Loctite on there this time. And got another bolt, put some red Loctite on that too. So I'm gonna put these in, and hopefully we don't ever have a problem with these coming out again. But because we had this on one of the previous crops, if you go watch one of those videos, it came out and this thing just spun and wrapped these hydraulic lines up, ripped one of them, and it yanked them all through all this stuff and stretched them. But yeah, I'm done. I just got to do a little repair before I unhook this thing for the winter. Because the next thing that this tractor will be doing, it will be dammer diking behind potato planting in the spring. So I'm gonna unhook this, and then we'll have to winterize this tractor. I'll probably clean it up a little bit. We usually wax all the tractors in the wintertime to get them nice and clean and shiny. Helps preserve the paint a little bit, but yeah. Okay, got a new bolt in there, new bolt in there. It's nice and tight. Doesn't move around anymore, so that should be good to go for next year. Well, one of our drivers had to go, so I'm trading him off. So I am in a truck right now, going to get loaded. We only have maybe 5 loads left, and we'll be completely done with fifth crop hay. So I'm headed over to the tractor. Looks like we have a tractor that is full. So we have 4 trucks and 2 tractors, and we just kind of rotate. We go to whatever tractor's full at the time to try and not keep them waiting. So we'll go pull up to him and let him load me, and then I'll go out to the bagger. All right, pulling up to the tractor here. Now I got to get a few inches from this tire on the wagon. He'll kind of guide me one way or another, because if I hit the wagon tire, it'll usually pop it. So, and then he'll tell me when to stop. All right. Now, this thing will dump, the wagon will dump into my bed. Just a little bit goes over. All right, looks like he's done. So I got to turn all the way this way, put it in reverse, and then when the wagon gets down to where it touches, that I can back up. I have to turn away, that way I don't hit the wagon, but yeah, it's not too bad. The worst part is driving through this really bumpy field, because this is the pivot, so you're going over the pivot tracks all the time, and it is not great, especially in a 10-wheeler truck that doesn't have the best suspension. I do have an air seat, but sometimes my head hits the ceiling. All right, I just got to the dairy to unload my truck. There's 2 trucks in front of me, and I have the very last load of 5th crop hay. So we're just waiting for these guys to unload, and then we'll back up and finish her off. We've been having a ton of problems with our bagger. It keeps overheating. Something happened, all the electronics quit working. This is a Versa bagger. They're okay, but they seem to have a lot of issues. Yeah, the hydraulics, like the floor chain, we keep overpowering the floor chain and it just stops. So we can't run the trucks, we can't unload the trucks very fast, and it just keeps being a pain in the butt. So we may be looking at a new bagger, we'll see. Just got backed up to the bagger. I am unloading. I look right here, you can see the chains are slowly moving. But the bagger's been having issues, like I said, so we're gonna go nice and slow and hopefully not overload them. Look at that sunset, would you? Like when we get nice sunsets, this one's gonna be a pretty good one. Should take a little bit to get this unloaded. Thanks for joining me on this 5th crop hay harvest. I hope you enjoyed it. This is probably the last week we're gonna have decent, like 50-degree weather. It's gonna be cooling off pretty quick, but we still have probably a month of hauling manure, so you gotta look forward to that. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.